So this is a walkthrough of the Xamplr workshop. The workshop is a special place on Xamplr because all of the terms and examples on Xamplr are written by users. So this is a place where a recently added term is in the workshop, is being built on. So what it needs is examples and non-examples written by you to help it along. You may have seen terms on the workshop because they show up on your list menu over here with a wrench. And if you click on them, it'll explain it's in the workshop. You click to it, it'll take you to the workshop instead of the 1, 2, 3 step page. So here we are in the workshop with the term abate. Also abated, to become less intense. Someone has recently added this, and it's your job to write some good examples and to look at the examples that other people wrote and to vote them up or vote them down. If they're a really good example, you want to vote it up. You might even want to favorite it. Favoriting it helps that out a little bit when we decide which ones will become the approved stock examples for this term. So do the votes. Favoriting also will make it show up on presentations if you're teaching with Xamplr. If you don't like the example, however, let's say this was a bad one that we did not like. The storm would abate in an hour, which that's a good one. The rain abated, they're all good ones. Let's say it was a bad one and we wanted to vote it down, we could vote it down. We could also click this frowny face and that would put it on a list that Xamplr admin looks at to delete examples. So if you think something is terrible because it's nonsense or it's profanity or it's really bad grammar, give it the frown. If you think something is a really good example, give it an upvote. That's not the only thing you should be doing from the workshop. You should also add non-examples. Remember, we need non-examples as well to make Xamplr work to differentiate from the real examples. So here are two examples of another term. You remember how this works. The non-examples are made out of examples of other terms. Here is a real example of the term vindictive. Whenever someone bothered Jude, people watched out for her. This would say vindictiveness. But instead, our algorithm has taken the word abate and replaced vindictive with it, and now it says abateness, which the user should understand is not a way to say this. We could pick this one and it would be a good non-example. Also, when the user is flipping through the cards on the practice step, this will tell them that one of the examples in their deck might be the word vindictive. So instead of abate, but it will have the word abate there. Another thing we can do is fix the grammar. If we were to click on this and choose it, we could go in and we could fix the grammar of it. I don't know if we really need that dash dash. Maybe it should be a comma. We'll hit submit and boom, that just was added to this list of non-examples. Now, a question that comes up with the voting on non-examples. What does an up arrow mean? What does a down arrow mean? This is a non-example. That's right, it's a non-example. It should still be good. It should still be grammatically correct, but it should just not make sense as an example of abate. So these all should not be accurate real examples of the word abate. The marble abate stood alongside the cathedral, providing its support. That's not an example of abate. That looks like a noun and abate is a verb. That's probably a good non-example. A man with a mohawk hairstyle is approaching you on the street. I know that this is an example of the term representativeness heuristic. So it took the word abate heuristic. In your head, you apply the abate heuristic by assuming that he must lead a completely punk lifestyle when in fact he listens to classical music and plays racquetball. This would probably be a good non-example. This is not an accurate usage of this term. It makes grammatical sense, it sounds almost right, but a person who knows what the word abate means would know that this is wrong. So this is a good non-example. It would be a good upvote. Downvoting on non-examples would be ones that are nonsense, bad grammar, profanity. If it's profanity, please click the frowny face. That'll be a message will be sent to admin about deleting it. So all of the voting and the writing that's going on the workshop all becomes part of what Xamplr administrators will look at when we approve the term abate to go off of the workshop. We need to have some stock examples, and those are going to be the ones with the highest votes. So that's what the workshop is for. If it's used effectively, it'll drive terms off of the workshop and into practice mode sooner.